Hi everyone, IZZUL here. In this video, I will share a little bit about my research idea entitled Translingual Strategies Spoken Discourse in Malaysian Undergraduate Classes. So my idea is mainly about translingualism in English-based classrooms, so bear with me for about 5 minutes and let's go. So as you can see over there, as the title suggests, translingual practices by ESL or AFL teachers and learners in language-related classrooms are quite common in facilitating the learning and teaching processes. So this can be seen from previous studies that show students in both the outer circle and the expanded circle countries gain more insights from English classrooms whenever code mixing is used. So meaning to say that English is being mixed with their native languages, making the learning and teaching process more memorable. However, Chen et al. In 2018 claimed that there are teachers who perceive translanguaging as a more negative occurrence than a positive one, as many believe that it hinders the students in using English in classes. Also, the overmixing of languages in classrooms may disallow the correct form of English to be learned by the students. And the previous studies have focused more on the aspect of writing when it comes to the topic of translingualism, where I'm not saying that the researchers on translingualism in spoken discourse is none, but there are a number of them, but not as many as writing aspect, with the reference to English as foreign language context in the expanding circle countries like China and the immigrants living in the US. So we give less focus to the outer circle countries like Malaysia, Singapore and such. Moreover, English majoring students were the highlights in those researchers. So in my study, I will incorporate religious studies students in broaden the horizon on this topic. And going on to the research purpose, this study aims in exploring the translingual strategies, or denoted as TS, employed by students and lecturers in the spoken discourse, as well as lecturers' perceptions on it in two undergraduate classes of different majors at the Public University in Malaysia. So the purpose having explained, now we'll look into the research questions. Research without questions is incomplete, isn't it? So there are three main questions that I propose. The first two being quantitative questions and the third one as a qualitative question. They are: what are the most frequent types of translingual strategies used by lecturers and students in introduction to linguistics and issues in tasawwuf classes? The second question will be: which segments of the class or lesson are translingual strategies most often used? Will be in the lecture sessions, Q&A sessions, or class discussion. We will not know about that. We'll look into it throughout the research. And the last one is how do the two different lecturers perceive the use of translinguaging in their classrooms? Maybe most of you will be asking, what is tasawwuf? Well, we'll get to that in a short while. Last but not least, we come to the main part of the research, which is the methodology. So the type of approach that I'll be employing is a mixed method, following the explanatory sequential design, whereby quantitative method will be abided first and then followed by qualitative. As you can see over there, my target sample is mentioned there in the poster. As you can see, there will be the overall students and two lecturers in two different undergraduate classes, mainly to say those two classes are Introduction to Linguistics and Issues in Tasawwuf in the International Islamic University Malaysia. And purposive sampling will be used since I have my specified group of people to be used in the research, and I deem this is the best sampling method to be used. Oh, I almost forgot. Well, what's tasawwuf? It is a branch of the Islamic knowledge which touches the issues of mysticism. If you've heard about Sufism, then you know what it is, or else you can Google it. As mentioned before, since previous studies mainly focus on English language classrooms, I will incorporate a non-English rated class but employ English language as a classroom language into this particular research. Regarding the data collection method, class observations and recordings of the interactions in the classes will be done for a specific period of time, and interview sessions will be held with the respective lecturers at the end of the process. And the recordings of the interactions will be transcribed, and coding process will be done via interaction analysis, whereby I will classify the words or sentences portraying the process of translingualism into specific codes. And for the interview data, transcription will also be done using deductive analysis, whereby the reasons mentioned by the lecturers will be deduced into categories that I will prepare beforehand. So I think that's enough for my presentation. I hope you get the idea of what I'll be doing in the future. Lastly, I thank you for your time and attention, and have a good day ahead.